Shalom, YouTubers, subscribers. It is Sister Kate, Shofar Mountain. I am here in town at a sidewalk cafe using the Wi-Fi with Pastor. And I wanted to do a video today based on the Korean shooters of the Los Angeles riots of 1992. It was suggested by a subscriber named Scott, who we've met, who seems like a very nice man. And I thought it was an interesting topic, and so I did the research. And I was alive then, as many of us were, and I do remember these events being on, the national news, and then Saturday Night Live made a thing about it, and so on, where a African-American man, Rodney King, was beaten by 4 police officers, and it was on video, and so the video went viral, as you say. It hit all the different news agencies and caused a huge stir. And also these riots in Los Angeles that happened over at least a couple of days, and Pastor talks about it as a classic example of how the police cannot contain even one city in one state in the U.S. without having to call in all sorts of backup, and how in an emergency situation in the country there would just be chaos because there's not enough police officers to contain even what would happen in a lot of our major cities. So this was the Rodney King riots, and this particular situation that Scott brought up was a part of Los Angeles called Koreatown. They showed a map and what is it called? Normandy and something in Normandy, South Central Los Angeles, where these riots started. It looked like it was due north of that, and it was a definite part of Los Angeles. That part of Los Angeles was overcome with the riots, and according to a video that I'll try to edit in a cut from, it said over 100 Korean businesses were broken into and destroyed. And so this particular individual man and his employer and some other Korean men decided to defend a business, a jewelry store. And they barricaded the front of it and other businesses nearby with shopping carts and pallets and stuff. And they actually walked on the street in front of the business and also had people with rifles and shotguns on the roof. And what happened, according to the testimony of this one particular man and video that someone took at the scene, gangbangers, he called them cholos, came into that part of Koreatown and were firing at these Korean men, which, in America, this would be outrageous. It is outrageous. And this Korean man said there were a couple of LA police cars nearby, and when the shooting started, those guys left. Now, I can't explain why that would have happened, but there was video of it, of these guys there, and now they're leaving. Maybe they got called to a different part of town, but that caused a lot of consternation with the Korean business owners, because already businesses had been destroyed and they were expecting the police to help them, and the police left. So these Korean men actually got in a gun battle with these rioters. And they show, again, I don't know if it's news video, if it's personal video, but these men are walking in front of this business with pistols and rifles, and shots start going past them, and they start returning fire and walking towards the rioters and shooting. They show it on the video. He is shooting at these rioters. And the result of that was this particular set of businesses did not get broken into, and they made national news for defending their businesses with firearms. Now, I don't know if any of the rioters were injured in that crossfire, but I think it's worth looking at the relevancy. Why did Scott want me to do a video on this? Why would this be relevant for you or I? And then if we look at the video from yesterday about the 6th commandment, this all kind of rolls together, and I don't know if the Father wants this put out this way or how it's working, but it's going to be relevant to you or I, because just like those Korean businessmen, you are not always in control of what happens with you. They didn't know a riot was going to happen. It just happened, and it happened to come and roll over their part of Los Angeles. Not all of Los Angeles was involved in those riots. So I think the lesson is that could happen to any one of us, whether it is in a huge, shit hit the fan kind of situation, or if it's in a local, some sort of emergency happens near you situation. Just like, outside of St. Louis a couple of years ago, that particular neighborhood, that particular area. Oh, my daughter said it recently too, and I can't remember what it was called. But that area suddenly erupts in riots. Not the whole state, not St. Louis, the whole city, just that particular Ferguson. That's what it was. Ferguson had riots. So it could happen locally that riots break out. I don't think there's a lot of domestic or terrorism that's going to happen, but if you're traveling in the world, it could. If you were in the Middle East, certain parts of Asia, if you're in certain parts of Europe, there can be some sort of rioting or terrorism act that you may become involved in, whether you planned on it or not. So where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us with having to decide for ourselves how we want to react. These Korean businessmen decided how they wanted to react, and their reaction kept their area protected. But they got in a gun battle in the middle of a Los Angeles street. And obviously they were mentally prepared for that. So that's something you're going to want to think about. Is this going to happen to you, and how would you react to that? Would you just let them tear your business up because you're insured and it's not that big a deal and you don't need to worry about 6 months of rebuilding your business and you're getting no income out of it? Or if it's your home, can you live in your home? Would it be, a horrible thing if a riot came through and your home was destroyed? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And then your personal safety, the personal safety aspect of it. Are you thinking, I would defend myself too if a rioter was shooting at you directly? Would you be returning fire? Or is your idea in that situation that I'm just going to leave and whatever happens in that location happens in that location? I think it's worth thinking about. I think it's worth planning and maybe even practicing what you might do should something like that erupt in your area. All right. Thank you for watching. Bless you. It's a beautiful day. You can hear the traffic going by. It's just gorgeous. Look at that sky. Yay! Truly, truly blessed. Thanks again. Shalom.